Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kathy and this is Turnbull's Threads, where I talk about the things that I am crafting. It's about time for my monthly update, so this is my summary of basically January, with a little bit of February thrown in there right now because we are a couple days in. I generally just talk about what I'm crafting, which my main craft areas of fun are cross-stitching and knitting, but occasionally I'll throw in some other things. I'm actually gonna have to get up and grab one of those things in a second so that you can see one of my other alternate crafts. So yeah, I just basically talk about what I've been doing, what I've enjoyed doing. I don't think there's anything else that I really need to talk about me for this. I do need to mention some of the things that I've been watching. So for the last number of months, probably like 6 months to close to a year, I haven't been watching the YouTube channels quite as much as I had been in the past. I got really into audiobooks and that was kind of my main focus. Part of that was, if you go back a month, you will see my finished Heaven and Earth design sal from last year. So I did Paradiso. And in order to get that all finished before the end of the year, because I had, how much did I have in August? I had maybe 2 pages done in August. Maybe 2.5 pages of like completed stitching. Not like actually pages, because I don't stitch in pages, I stitch in hoops. So my hoop dictates what I stitch. So I had like 2 hoops and a part of another hoop that had been finished. So it was roughly probably 2.5, maybe if you were pushing it 3 pages. And the goal was to finish the entire thing, which is 8 full pages, and I think it's 15, because it's 3 by 5, so 15 total pages. But the ones on the side, the 5 on the side and the 3 along the bottom were not super big. So where I was going with this, yes. So I had much stitching to do and very little time to do said stitching in. Less than half a year to get basically most of that project done. Maybe I will be smarter this year and get more of it done beforehand. I make no promises. But because of that, I dropped off watching as much as I usually did and went to solely listening to, because I could listen to it and stitch that project, but I could not watch YouTube and stitch that project at the same time. So we kind of went on a no watching any of the floss tubes or any of the crafting channels that I would typically watch. So now that that is finished and I have gotten a couple of other larger projects done, I feel very accomplished so far this year. I have gotten some things done that have been on my plate for a while, and they're not done, but they are like out of my hands kind of done, which is an amazing feeling. Anyways, so because of that, I actually got back into watching a little bit this last month. So I caught up on Jessie Marie Does Stuff. If you enjoy full coverage, she's a great person to watch. She also has some, like a fun single player, like exploring kind of game, defeating projects kind of game that she has going on, which sounds really cool. Not something that I'm going to start and getting involved with because, one, I have too many, well, you could do it with a ton of projects, and I have enough projects that I would like want a huge mansion in order to do it. But it also has like goals and like pigeons you into doing things, and I tend to do bad with that. Hence why my whole bingo whipgo board last year, like 3-4 months in, and I wasn't doing it. So we're gonna not try and do that. I still have to go ahead and make my list. Need to work on making my lists so that I have like goals and things to work towards, but not work towards, if that makes sense. So like things I want to try, right? So I did some dyeing of some fabric, and I'd love to do some more of that. I want to explore that a little bit more, but I'd also like to do some like different styles of dyeing. So I did it kind of in a pan. The pans weren't the greatest. I did get some new pans to try out. I really loved how my yarn turned out, but my fabric didn't turn out nearly as nice as my yarn turned out. So I would like to mess around and try a little bit with that. Maybe try doing some natural dyeing with some things that I can find around. See how that turns out. So like that kind of goal. I also would like to do a Hardinger project, which I actually have one here that is kitted. I just need to start it. But like Hardinger and some of those other needle crafts that aren't necessarily cross-stitch but are cross-stitch adjacent. Because I think I have some ribbon embroidery and some crewel kits that would be fun to start at some point. So like doing those would go on the list. It wouldn't be like I have a goal of finishing this list at any time, but if you enjoy fun crafting content, the Stitchery with Charlie Nebby? Charlie. She does a really good job. Her channel is mostly focused on sewing, so if you enjoy sewing content, she's great for that. But she also does a lot of fun crafting other things, and she's talking about, like, she wants to explore all kinds of things, and, like, not just fiber arts crafts, but all kinds of different crafts, and doing variety of different things, seeing what she likes, what she doesn't like, and she brings you along in that exploration process, which is really cool. So she has this really long list that she keeps and decides how she's going to do projects for her channel based off of some of the things that she's doing on there. I'm not going to be as tied to it, but like having a list so that I know, like, this is a thing that I would like to try, or this is a thing that eventually I want to do. That is something that I would like to try instead of being like, you need to do this. So, that being said, let's actually get into the things that I've done. So, since I've last talked to you, I have finally fully finished an object. And let me pull it out because it's not, of course, at the top of my stuff. Where is it? Come on, you wee thing. You at the bottom. It is at the very bottom, of course. Okay, so I fully finished this one. Look at it. It's Snack-O-Lantern. So this is a pattern by Boomerang Stitches. He's so cute. He's adorable. I did it on a white pine by Flair, and you can see I finished it in a hoop. And it's got lovely, lovely bright orange felt on the back of it. And this is actually going to be a gift for one of my coworkers who has an October birthday and she loves Halloween. And those decorations stay up all year round, so I figure that she will love this one. It was a fun one to stitch, and if you look at it, so the raccoon's eyes, and then the pumpkin's eyes, and then all of the sticks for the candy, those are actually all stitched in a glow-in-the-dark floss, so they do glow in the dark. Faintly. So, yes, I have a fully finished object. It's been sitting around for a while and need to get done. So, that's that. One of, I guess, another fully finished object that I finished, which makes me very happy, is one of my knitting projects. So I did a test knit for the Visby long cardigan, and it's done. I am so happy with it. Especially since I was kind of behind on it. But I have it finished here. So this was a test knit that I did. One of the details that I really love about it is this here. So the actual pattern, like the stitching here, in the original pattern, she uses one color of yarn, so she's not marling it together. So what I did was I held two different colors together, which is why you have like this kind of spotting pattern. So that's because I'm holding two separate pieces, or two separate yarns together in order to get that, which actually creates these really fun patterns, so you can like really distinctly see where I'm doing a reverse stockinette stitch in the pattern and where I'm doing a seed stitch. It just really shows up. However, it wouldn't have shown up really great with the cables that are at the very bottom. So what I did was, instead of using holding both of the yarns together to do this particular cabling, I just held the white one because I figured that one would show up really nicely against it. And it did, and I love it. It looks so good. It is a little bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be. My gauge is off. My gauge is slightly off. So it is slightly bigger than it should be, which meant that I had to make a couple of modifications on the neckline in order for it to actually look like how the designer wants it to be. It's Aelius Knits, I believe is the name of the designer. I used Knit Crates flannel, and I think it's in the color buffalo, as well as Darn Goods yarns, merino wool. It's like just the white, uncolored, undyed merino wool for this. So I held both of those together, and that's what gives it the fun colors. And I actually had some perfect buttons for it. So Visby is can't remember if it's Swedish. It's a Scandinavian kind of origin type of word. So yes, the Celtic knots on there aren't quite, but like thinking of a village and that type of thing, the silver buttons with the Celtic knots on them, just, I feel like it really went with it. So I now have a very, 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 very long cardigan, because picture-wise it should really end about your knees. This one ends more like mid-calf, almost ankle on me, because like I said, the gauge was off. My gauge was off by little bit. So yes, if your gauge is off, it can make a huge difference in your garment. In this case, it's a lot longer than I expected it to be. But I am very pleased with it, and it is my second finished object. I have 2 finished objects already at the end of January. Beginning of February, close enough. So ecstatic about that. In addition to that, let me grab the last finished thing that I did. You can blame Charlie from the Stitchery for this one, because she got me on this. Okay. And yes, I'm leaving all of this in. So, Charlie at the Stitchery introduced me to book nooks. So, it's a fun little kind of 3D puzzle. And it even has you end up doing some wiring. Very, very, very basic wiring. But yep, you do wiring, and you have all kinds of fun little things with it. It's like a several hundred piece puzzle, and because you do the wiring, it turns on, and it looks so cool. Can you see it? There, you can see it. So like you have books in there, and it's so cozy looking, and it turns on. It was quite fun to do. It's like a big puzzle with lots of little pieces that you put all together. I don't think you have to really use any glue. Like, you use screws for for like opening, closing the place where you put the batteries so that it does the whole light up thing. But other than that, and scissors, because like the plants here, you have to cut those out, and like they give you the supplies to do it, but you basically have to cut it out and then screw it in. Everything else is either basically like puzzle pieces that slot together really nicely, so you don't have to worry about that, or involves tape that, because they provide the double-sided, they provide pretty much everything you need to make this. You don't have to provide anything except the batteries, because they don't include batteries. But it was really fun. I enjoyed doing this. This was a like 2-day process. And thank you, Charlie, for getting me hooked on this. I now have 2 other ones that I will eventually be doing. Okay. So, that is my fully finished objects. So now that I've gone through my fully finished objects, I also have 2 finished objects that I've completed since I last talked to you. My first finished object is this guy. Look at that. I finally finished the bookmark that I should have, well, I'm not going to say I should have, that I've been slowly but surely putting some work into, but it looks really, really good. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. So I finished this bookmark. It still needs like the back finished up on it so that it is not raw stitching on the back. I'll probably attach it to a cardboard, like a thin cardboard, and bookmark it. But yes, the bookmark is done. So I had 1 more in that kit. I finished the owl. At some point I'll start the eagle and finish up that entire kit, and then it will be done. But I have a finished object. And that's not the only one that I have. I have a second finished project. Look at it! So this is Tetelestai. I think it might be Tetelestai. So the top part is like a modified reproduction sampler, and then the bottom part is new from the person who was creating it. It's from Quaint. I think it's Quaint Rose Needleworks. It's like Quaint something Needleworks. I'm not entirely sure on that middle word. So they did the charting for this. I stitched it on a random piece of 14 count Aida that I have. Or at least I think it's a 14 count Aida. It looks like an Aida. It's like an ivory color. Who knows what it actually is. And I used a silky variegated on it. So if you look closely, you can see that it has a lot of fun variation there on it. And if you're interested, this is what my back looks like on it. It is probably not something that I'm going to enter into the state fair, because if you actually look at the stitching on it, I do switch my legs for my crosses multiple times. They don't all go the same direction. I had good intentions starting out, and then those intentions gradually disappeared as I was doing it, because I would get through a section, do it accidentally wrong, and then figure out about it like 3 thread lengths later and be like, yeah, no, I'm not going back and fixing that. It's going to be all over the place. We're just not going to care quite as much about the direction of my crosses. But I really like this one. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it yet. Story of my life with most of my cross-stitch pieces. So I finished it, and now I need to figure out what to do with it. But it's done. So another thing done. So now that I have talked about my... Oh, no, I have one more finished object. Forgot about it. It's actually a fully finished object. Look at it. It's a dishcloth. I'm teaching classes again. Knitting classes. So if you happen to be in Ames and you would like to take a knitting class with me, let me shamelessly plug for if you want to take a knitting class with me. I'm in Ames, and if you go to the Knittery Nook, you can sign up for a class with me. Yay! Anyways, so this was supposed to be for a binding off class. So teaching different ways to bind off. Ended up not doing that because everyone in my class dropped out. They didn't want to come. It was very sad. They got sick, so yeah. But I finished it off anyways, because there's no point in keeping a mostly finished dishcloth around except for the binding off section, because I figured that I need to make some more of these so that I have a stock ready, so that when I go visit places, I have hostess gifts. So I need to make a couple more of these. I also need to make a number of the like, it's not dishcloth, dish towel, there we go, dish towels that will hang on your stove, because those are also good hostess gifts. Actually, they're pretty good gifts anyways. I like I have 2. I really do need to make myself another one, because I think I only have 2. And I have some really cute ones. Towels that I've been meaning to make into this. But we'll see what will happen. Okay, now that we've talked through finishes, let's get into the things that I've been working on that aren't done yet. So, let's go with first things first. I mentioned it a little bit. I am doing the 2026 cell. I'm doing Glistening wings. And that's what I've gotten done. Some people are a lot further along than I am. I need to work on this. I haven't worked on it too much. I finished the one color. Actually, I finished 2 colors, I think, in my hoop. And I'm working on my 3rd color. So we'll try and get some of the other colors eventually in here. It'll be fun. It's like a very Lisa Frank-esque color palette, which is actually a lot of fun. I will say that is a lot of fun. The next project is one that you have seen before. I haven't done too much with it since the last time you saw it, but the Cloud sweater by Veronika Lindberg. Not much has been done with it. My ball of yarn, though, has been slowly but surely degrading on me. Yep. At some point, well, if I knit through it, then it will no longer be a horrible mess of a ball of that's me. Yarn! Will it? The next project is a continuation project. So this is one that I believe my coworker actually got me from a thrift store because she knows that I like cross stitch. And so when she went to the thrift store and happened to see this bad boy, she went and got it and gave it to me. Thank you. So most of that stitching is from the previous person, but I went ahead and added in some of that stuff along the bottom. It's a no count cross stitch project. So you stitch the color based off of the symbol that happens to be on the printed fabric, and then once it's all finished being stitched, you wash it and it should all come out. So someone else started it, but we'll see if I can finish it. I at least got a couple of stitches in it, so it's not totally languishing in my hands. The next one that I have is I started this cute little pattern by Sprouting Lupine. It's called the Dawn Frost Nature Walk. And I love cardinals. Cardinals are the state bird of North Carolina, and they're so bright and cheerful, and I love them. So I'm quite happy to be doing this one. I did make a mistake, so this gal up here is a stitch down and a stitch over from where she should. Part of her is a stitch down and a stitch over from where she should be. So we are already fudging it on there so that it works out. But I have the first bird in. I have a couple of leaves in. We've started the stem here. So yeah, I'm making progress on it. I'm making a good chunk of progress on it because I just started it. Oh, that is one thing that I pulled a bunch of stuff. So I pulled a bunch of stuff because I have a lot of patterns and I have a lot of kits. And I was like, let's actually do some of this stuff. I know, good intentions. We'll see how long this lasts, but I have enough. I pulled a small and a large pattern to start for each month and a kit to start each month. And then I have a number of kits and things that I was like, oh, these would be fun to start this year if I can. So the smalls, I tried very, very hard to keep them at less than 100 by 100. And the larges are anything over that. I have a lot of large projects. It was harder to find the smalls than I would think. I think I am attracted to a certain size of project. So this was January's small start. And I have one for February that I haven't started yet, obviously. So you'll hopefully get to see those coming up. Next thing that I have here is a knitting project that I've started. So I'm gonna try and take a slight break from doing all of the test knitting that I've been doing, because I would like to get some of my actual projects that I have yarn for, that I want to stitch, that I've bought or other people have bought me patterns for, and I would like to get some of them done. So this is one of them. This is the start of the back for the Love Letter top by Veronika Lindberg. I don't know if I have enough yarn in this color for this top. We'll see. We'll see if modifications end up happening partway through on this guy. But I definitely know that I can get the yoke done with the yarn that I have, because I have 3 balls of this yarn, and I've used this much up for the back. So we've got most of the back top finished. So I think I can definitely get the back top and the back, or in the front 2 pieces here. I don't know how far down I will be able to get though with the balls of yarn that I have. So it's one of those, if I were able to get like most of the lace done with the 3 balls, I'm fine with doing the trim in a different color. That would be the ideal situation, is if I can get all of the lace, like the front, the back, and then the body basically knit all the way down to the trim area, then I would be ecstatic. But I don't know if this will happen. We shall see. We will be playing yarn chicken. So much yarn chicken with this one. But it's actually quite fun. It's a good, fun lace knitting pattern. It's been a little while since I've done one of those. What's next? Ooh. Let's do my typical, this is what I work on at boring work meetings, cross stitch. So this is what I work on in boring work meetings. It's the Autumn Harvest Hooty. And we've got a moon, and we've got an owl started. So I have more stitching to do on that one. It will get worked on as I have work meetings. So there's that one. I think the rest are all cross stitch patterns. Ooh, this one has made a lot of progress since the last time you've seen it. So it is one of the Mill Hill kits, the Button and Beads project. This is the broomstick parking one. It's basically a full coverage. And I think the last time you saw it, I had just I basically had the cat and the cauldron done, and now I have all of this blue background, and I've started on a hat. So we've gotten some decent progress on it. I am quite happy with how much progress I've made on it. I think I'm done with that blue. I think that blue color is all done for me. I'm working on finishing out the purple color. So I was so productive. It's always nice to be productive. Let's see. Ooh, the next couple of ones are some things that I started because I wanted to start a project. One of these is one of those projects that I wanted to start this year. So pull it out. So one of the ones that I wanted to just start this year is this one. This is an Abris Art cross stitch and beading. Is it beading or is it just cross stitch? It's Birdie 1 and cross stitch, canvas, floss. Yes, it is beads. So beading and cross stitch. I started it and it goes this way. And I got a bit of the wing done on this guy. So I mean, some of this has just been like, I want to get things started because I have them. Let's actually make use of the things that I have. So that one got started. Another one that got started, this one was actually the project that I wanted to get started for this month. And that is this one, RTO. It is called Candle and Key. And it's just gorgeous. I love the dark woods background and then the little girl with the candle and the key and all of the little animals. It's beautiful. The chart was somewhat confusing when I was reading through it, so that was not my favorite thing, but I did start it barely. Put in a length of thread and which way is it? It might be this way. I think that's the way it goes. So started on the little girl's coat because that was kind of the center of the entire design. So it is started. We will puzzle through it at a later date. We'll come back to it because it is really, really pretty. But hasn't been my focus. My focus has more definitely been that the walking one. Another one that I started because why not? Let's go through all my starts. The Tiny Modernist. I have all of the pamphlets for the Fantastical greenhouse. So that's what the finished one will look like. And it will be hard to tell what my start is because it's on a light colored one, but I'm using the called forward colors and I put it on an opalescent Aida from Charles Craft. I don't know what color it is, but I got some of the white lines of the greenhouse put in. So it started. Like some of the goals, this one was another one I'd just like to start this year. So it started. Goals have been achieved just by doing that. It's always nice when you like make that bar real low. The lower you make the bar, the easier it is to achieve it, isn't it? So the last two projects that we're going to talk about are in here. Nope, I have three. Two of the last three projects that I'm going to talk about are in here. This is a stitch bag, I guess, technically, by Tiger Lily. It's really nice. I do really, really like it. It's a 2-folder one, and I have the final two projects in here. So one of the projects that I started is something that I have had the pattern for a while, and I've had the cloth picked out. It's just been starting it. So Lola Crowell's Lola Crow's Greenhouse of Oddities. And I'm going to switch out Darwin with George Washington Carver because I went to Iowa State. George Washington Carver is a point of pride for Iowa State. Also, he's just kind of a cool scientist. Like peanuts and all kinds of other fun things. And being kind of a pioneer for scientists who were not white at that time. So I started it, and I have a very, very small start, but I did a center start because I can. And I'm using this really cool fabric by Banana Oil. So it's a 18 count Aida. She doesn't do colorways. You won't find one like this again. I thought it fit very well with this particular theme. So I'm gonna have fun with it. So that is the first of my 2 projects in here. And so this one wasn't one of the projects that I was picking for the year, but it was one of those things like I've had the fabric and I've had the pattern picked out for quite a while at this point. I think it's been at least a year since I've picked out that fabric for that pattern, and just being like, go ahead and do it. Just stop delaying, stop putting it off, and just start the thing. Like, I'm not gonna finish it anytime soon, but start it. So the other thing in here is this. So Thread Gremlins, who are very fun to watch, and I am now finally caught up with. This was their yearly sale. Not last year, but the year before. So 2024, I want to say. And both of their versions are really cool. I'm going to do something slightly different. So what I'm planning on doing is doing each of the 4 quadrants in a different color. And then the center motif and the surrounding motifs are all going to be in a 5th color. So I'm planning on doing these with sulkies. And I'm doing it on a mint splash 32 count Lugana, because it should be big enough. So I started it in the center because I like center starts, and that's where I am on it. Hopefully I centered it right. We'll find out. I just realized that like I have an extra about inch over here, so hopefully it is centered correctly, or at least good enough. We'll find out. But I'm gonna do it with 4 or 5 different colors of sulky. The obviously surrounding stuff is all gonna be a 1 color one, so that means that I get to do some I guess it's technically Dutch style stitching, so I don't have to make every X, and then everything else, all the different quarters are then going to be in a variegated sulky. So I'm planning on doing summer, winter, spring, and autumn. So I think that'll be really fun, and we'll see how it turns out. I mean, as with any stitching adventure where you change things up, because it's always fun to change things up. I am missing one thing. I do need to go grab one more item besides the last one that I have here, because I have worked on it and I'm getting close on it. Close to hitting the final edge, which makes me super happy. So yes, I have 2 more projects. 2. Go and grab that final one after this. This project is not finished, but it is halfway done. So the penultimate project that we're going to talk about today is this one. So this is the Keep Calm and Freak Out fob. So one side says keep calm and carry on, and the other side says now panic and freak out. And when I finish this is going to go with me to work so that I can put it outside my cubicle, because yes, that is the perfect place for this, which means that I will have to fully finish this. But I got part of it done. I finished the keep calm and carry on section of it. Look at it, it's so good. Especially considering it's on Aida and it really should have been done on an Evenweave or a linen. And I'm going to kill myself because I'm doing it on an Aida for the other side too. Poor life choices on my part. So I didn't look at the pattern very closely when I started it, and totally ignored the fact that this should have been done on an Evenweave or a linen, because it has, like, a lot of the stitching is not, like, it's half stitching, and then all of that crown there, that's supposed to be 1/1 on a linen or an Evenweave, and then most of the other stuff is like a 2/1. Yeah, nope, didn't happen because I used an Aida instead of a linen or an Evenweave, so I was piercing the threads so much. I felt like an idiot about like halfway through doing the border of it, because it's like, oh, I didn't read all of the instructions. And now I regret this decision. So, if you would also like to make this particular pattern, let me suggest strongly that you invest in a linen and an Evenweave for your 2 sides, because it's a pain to do on Aida. You can do it. Like, I did it. I love how it turned out. It looks great. It was just a pain to do because it's supposed to be done on a linen or an Evenweave. So yes, I am halfway done, and I think it would be relatively easy to get that to a fully finished, but I make no promises because goals. Remember that whole conversation we had at the beginning about goals? Goals. So let me go and grab that final project real fast, and I shall be right back. And I'm back. So that final project is Fish and Chips, which is getting so close. So this is also done on a banana oil, and what did I think I made an error, so it's got to get pulled out, which is why I'm very sad and haven't touched it yet, because I did, yes, there's a fairly major counting error somewhere in there. But I have got 3 of the full borders hit. I'm almost, so like really when I finish this block, I'll probably move my hoop here to get this block totally finished, and then these pages here I think will be done. I think it'll just be the 2 pages here that will need to be finished. because it's 6 pages. So 2 pages are completely done. 2 pages are partially, I want to say, done. And then I have 2 pages to go. So I need to rip out. Yes. Yes, I see it. I did. My count is off. It's this section, like, right in here. So this lower section here, I didn't come over. I'm like 1 stitch off on coming over. So it'll need... I need to actually look at my counts and see what needs to get fixed. But things need to get ripped out. That's why I took it off the, took the needle out. And I have my thread so that I can rip it back. But it's just my last thread that I was working on. It's the last couple of stitches that I've been... Probably like the last 10 or 20 stitches that I was working on this section. So it's not catastrophic. It's just annoying because I've got to go and rip back some things because it's not in the right spot. So my camera memory card filled up, but I got a new one really fast. So we're gonna finish this up here. I finished going through all my projects. Yay. I have no real well, I have 3 projects that I want to start this month at some point. It'd be really cool if I could finish a couple of things as well. Like that buttons and beads project that's being worked on. I'd really love it if I could finish that one. That one's been around for a little while. It'd be really nice to work on my Heaven and Earth design cell. It might also be nice to pull out some of the old things that I have that I haven't touched in a little while. I don't know. We'll let my whims decide what I do. I'll probably also start another knitting, or I want to restart one of my knitting projects. I'm looking at it now. It's there, ready to be restarted. So that's kind of where I am on that front. If you want to watch me build one of my other book nooks, because I have 2 more. Because I really do I liked doing it. If you want to see me actually make it, feel free to comment and let me know if you would like to come along with that journey. Otherwise, I'll just show the end product again the next time. I don't know that I have anything else, so if you are watching this, have a good day, a good rest of your week, a good weekend, and hopefully a good month. And maybe I will see you before the end of February, or maybe not. We'll see. I have 4 weeks to make these decisions. So we'll see if you see me before the end of the month, or if we're just gonna go monthly for this one. But hope you had fun, and see you again soon. Bye!